two security guards from a hospital in Ladysmith, that's in KZN, have been dismissed after they were caught on video, which has now gone viral, assaulting a 13-year-old patient. That incident took place, we now understand, last week Thursday. The patient, who we also understand suffers from a disability, was a resident at a place of shelter before being admitted to this institution. She has since been moved to another healthcare facility in Durban. The KZN Health Department released a statement saying that they'll probe the incident, but they have declined to comment any further. That doesn't mean we can't cover the story for you. So we've brought on now the DA's KZN leader, Francois Rodgers, who joins us via our video link. And it's great to have you on the program, Francois. Thanks very much indeed for your time. I mean, what's the party's reaction to this in KZN, given just how shocking the claims at the very least are?
Morning. Morning, Ayanda. Good morning to you and to your viewers. I must say, when I was sent the video yesterday, it was heartbreaking to actually watch that. It was a difficult couple of minutes to watch. What really struck me is that it was almost an orchestrated event. They'd closed the curtains around the patient, and it had been absolutely orchestrated. Now, it's all very well the department telling us they're investigating it, but there are more questions than answers at this stage. Number one, what was the security detail doing in a ward? That's unheard of. Security is supposed to protect hospitals, the entrance and the exit. And somebody must have called those security guards and given them some instruction. And while this abuse took place, there were no nurses around trying to stop the situation. So as I say, there are more questions than answers. One now also has to ask whether the Department of Health in the province of KwaZulu-Natal is actually appointing these security firms on merit, and whether in fact they're screening and doing some assessment of their guards. Because if it wasn't for this video, I'm not sure we would be having this discussion today.
Absolutely.
I don't think the department itself would have highlighted this challenge that we've seen, this disgusting attack on a patient.
In fact, the person who's taking the video, trying to narrate what's going on, could also be heard saying that this is commonplace. In fact, this happens quite often. And you get a sense that that may be true, given just how everybody else around the ward seems to kind of just accept that this is taking place. Not that other patients can do anything, of course, but given just how the security guards are met with zero resistance, you see how emboldened they are, suggesting to us that this is not the first time.
You know, there's a new word that's out now in our country, and that's the sort of mafia state, you know, whether it's construction mafias or various other forms of intimidation happening. And you now wonder if there's not a new problem and a challenge that's facing us, and that's in our very health institutes. Now, at the very least, anybody that's admitted to hospital should absolutely be guaranteed their safety. And this type of behavior needs to be stopped, which is why I'm saying. So as far as the DA is concerned, our spokesperson, Eddie Bapti, in the province, will be undertaking an investigation. He'll be going up to Ladysmith, and we'll be putting questions to the department as to how they determine which security companies they appoint and what sort of screening and assessment those security companies undertake.
Yeah. There's also going to have to be real questions around under whose auspices these security guards were acting. I struggle to believe that they're just decided to go to this particular patient and assault them as at least is suggested in that video. There has to have been some kind of instruction given to them. And obviously that person needs to be brought to book.
Absolutely. As I said earlier, you know, security details don't just walk around hospitals. They've got allocated points that they have to work from. So somebody within the institute must have gone to the security guards, must have informed them. I cannot for the life of me fathom why anybody would want to get security details to go out and abuse a patient. As we saw, it beggars belief. And I'm afraid I can only make the assumption that it must have been one of the medical staff on that hospital. I cannot believe a patient would have done that. And as I say, you can clearly see it was premeditated with the curtains being closed around the patient.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, several voices have been heard now, but one that is glaringly missing is that of the patient's family. I wonder if you've heard anything about their whereabouts, whether they were aware of this, and I suppose what kind of recourse they're hoping for.
Ayanda, as I said, what I've done, last night I contacted our spokesperson, Eddie Bapti. He will try and establish certain facts. We will certainly try and identify a family and start engaging with the family and see what assistance and what support we can give. And just further to highlight, to our province, this type of dreadful act that we've had to witness. So we will certainly try and engage with the family, if not with the patient.
Sure, absolutely. Well, while I have you on the line, Francois, let me also engage you on a completely different, unrelated issue around Christopher Pappas. We understand there's going to be a planned shutdown of Umgeni municipality today, and I suppose this is worth posing to you as the KZN leader of the DA, because the allegations against Chris Pappas came after he was announced as the premier candidate for the organization. He sees this as nothing but a smear campaign. How worried are you as a DA, though, that the allegations possibly may stick and affect Chris Pappas' prospects next year?
Ayanda, I've also made it very clear that we're not going to react on misinformation or information that's peddled on social media. I've made it very clear that if there is evidence, that evidence needs to be presented. I've engaged with Chris. We're quite satisfied that due process has been followed. I see in yesterday's media the public protector has now stated that they will process an investigation, and we welcome that. We're transparent, but we're certainly not going to wrestle in the mud with our opposition and our opponents. And we also question the timing of the whole thing. If this information was out there, why was it released a day after Pappas' inauguration, and then suddenly now today we have a planned ANC Youth League march, which, by the way, we've had a High Court interdict issued yesterday, stopping the march. So, time will unfold and the truth will be revealed. We stand behind Chris Pappas. We're not going to buy into this high school gossip. And that municipality is open for inspection.
All right, Francois Rodgers, thanks very much indeed for your time. Really do appreciate it. Francois, of course, is the leader of the DA in KwaZulu-Natal, telling us there, and I suppose that's also new information for us, that this planned shutdown of Umgeni municipality has been interdicted by the Democratic Alliance.